Hey everyone, this is Meg with another Ending Thoughts video, and today I'm going to be talking about the ending of Mass Effect 3. Now, I know this is a little bit bass-backwards because I'll usually do a current release game review first and then go on to the ending, but that's definitely not going to happen, so I'm going to just do the ending today instead. Sorry to those of you I promised a double whammy video today, but I just have way too much to say about the ending of Mass Effect 3, so I'm just going to stick with one. I think this will be quite a long video. I'll try and trim it as much as I can, but I'm not promising anything. First, I want to say two things to you, BioWare. First, congratulations. You've successfully created a franchise that people can truly invest themselves in, that they not only enjoy playing, but have also found a home within the Normandy and friends within the crew. And second, oh dear, BioWare, oh dear. If I was Dr. Zoidberg right now, I'd say your ending was bad and you should feel bad. Seriously though, I say this because you pulled the metaphorical rug out from your loyal, die-hard fans' feet with an unclear ending that goes against the investment I was just talking about. I've noticed so far that a lot of the complaints, including my own, revolve around the spirit of the story and the characters, and a personal need for a sense of closure. We all know this. If anyone's reading any of these comments, you'll know that this is the point that everyone is trying to make. I mean, when your own fans are saying, no, this is what they should be doing. Joker would never do that. You should pat yourselves on the back for creating characters that people feel this strongly about, but also understand that you have a fan base that feel like they know the characters as well as you do, which means most of their complaints of this nature are probably gonna be legit. I mean, I've never heard a single complaint so far that was like, Mass Effect 3 sucked just because it sucked. And now I've said that, I'm probably gonna get 50 people comment in this video saying that Mass Effect 3 sucks. I take that, but if you read this, BioWare, know that I made it happen. They don't mean it, I swear. They're just trolls. And if the ending does in fact revolve around this indoctrination dream theory, then what the hell? I get it, Casey Hudson, if you're watching this. I totally understand looking at it and saying, hey, it can be interpreted differently. I love endings like that. I'm a big voucher for the weird endings. I get that it was cool because it could be interpreted different ways, but save a weird, mysterious, kind of almost cliffhanger ending for the first installment, heck, even the second installment, but not the final title in the series. Of course we want closure in the final chapter of Shepard's story. Live, die, fail, succeed. We want to know, and we need to know what's going on, for definite, no shadow of a doubt. Right, so now on to certain specifics that I liked and disliked. I want to start by saying I felt Mass Effect 3 as a game was excellent. It was like a train, kind of starts out a little bit slow, and then after a little bit of time it's like full speed ahead, baby. This story had me laughing, crying. I got to see worlds I've always wanted to traverse, and all to this backdrop of certain annihilation. It was perfect. So, as you can imagine, I had absolutely no idea how this was all going to end after a huge uproar about the Mass Effect 3 ending. I was incredibly curious, and well, I guess the last 10 minutes pretty much answered all my questions, and not necessarily in a good way. Okay, so when the Reaper beam hit me, I just knew that I was dead right there and then. I knew that was the end of it. And I was about to get really upset because I didn't even make it to the Citadel. And I'm kind of sad too that I had Garrus on my team at the time and I don't think he made it through. I don't think anyone else made it through in that particular area besides Anderson. And then trying to talk the Elusive Man down, that was a great dialogue. It felt very much like the Saren negotiation in Mass Effect 1, but it was really cool. I loved the dialogue, and Weihei, Martin Sheen, you rock as the Elusive Man. And then Anderson died, which absolutely killed me. But having said that, it was executed so beautifully. Then the Crucible was put in place, and Shepard realizes that she, or he, depending on who you were playing, realizes that she's bleeding really heavily, and I just thought, okay, she's gonna have an equally noble death as Anderson. She's just gonna close her eyes and she's never gonna wake up again. You know, she can sleep now, but without the bad dreams. Then smack! Sucker punch. and it was all going so well. She was lifted in a very angelic fashion to the top of the citadel, and you're faced with 3 very Deus Ex Human Revolution style choices. And as a player, I was yanked, kicking and screaming out of the driver's seat and just dumped in the passenger side, while some godchild is talking at me and giving me slightly illogical choices, I might add. And all the while I'm thinking, this is it? Like, this is what I get? My Paragon Renegade meter, my past choices, all the things that make my Shepherd an individual, they don't matter? I also want to add here that the whole jumping into the white light thing just smacked of a Buffy episode called The Gift, which threw me right out of the moment. And also because of that, I was sort of expecting a kind of aftermath crew reaction scene afterward, because it made me think of The Gift. And then there was this scene with Joker in the Normandy, like escaping with my crew, and I'm not quite sure what they were doing up there, because the last time I saw them they were down on Earth with me. It was so much for sticking with me until the end, bum faces, and then they were marooned. And I kind of get, I mean, I chose the synergy option, so I get that Edie and Joker were like a kind of physical representation of what I'd just done, blah blah blah. But you get a split-second shot of your beloved crew, and then boom, done. No more crew. And they're riding off into the sunset on some random green planet. There's no sign of any devastation, hope, wear and tear. I mean, if I hadn't seen the kind of flaming shuttle, I would have thought they'd have all just parked there for a picnic. I mean, I hate to use this as an example, but all in all, I felt like I'd just been Annie Wilkes. Duh.
They just cheated us! This isn't fair! He didn't get out of the cock-a-doodie car!
And now that I think about it, this is the face of the loyal Mass Effect fans. And this is the face of BioWare. BioWare, you're the Paul Sheldon in this outfit. You've got hundreds of #1 fans that are just ready to hobble you if you don't change the ending. On a serious note though, to me, as soon as Anderson died, everything else that happened pretty much after that felt very tacked on, rushed, almost something they just put in there to get people talking. I mean, maybe this wouldn't have bothered me so much if the whole game was a giant fail, but it wasn't. It was absolutely epic. So yeah, I'm not particularly happy with the ending. It felt rushed. I was talking to my dad about it the other day actually, and he said, I'll bet you they just went, oh, we're running out of deadline, we've got to change it soon, and with the leak and everything, damn, we need someone to rewrite the ending. Hey, who can write? Who has a pen? And the janitor's like, yeah, I'll do it, how about we do this and we do that? And they're like, yeah, you're promoted. But having said this, I do still love all of the games. A crummy ending is not going to change the fact that I have just a huge reservoir of love for the series. And I also understand that asking BioWare to create a whole new ending is going to take up a lot of people, a lot of resources, a lot of money. Although the phrase, you've made your bed, now lie in it, kind of comes to mind. Gosh, that's not very nice, is it? But you failed me, BioWare. I'm not just crying anymore because the story was so epic, I'm crying because you broke me. I was expecting Shepard to die, like Hitler said. I knew it was likely that she would die or he would die, but hell, I was a character that impacted just the entire galaxy, hundreds of worlds. I mean, me and my crew achieved so much together, and now I'll never know if Rex and Eve, restore the Krogan homeworld to its former glory. I'll never know what will become of the Quarian homeworld. Will that be restored to its former glory? I don't even know if the treaties that I helped meticulously put in place between the races will last. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. I'm really disappointed, actually. And just on this note, to my subscribers who are curious as to whether I'll be getting the DLC that's rumoured to be coming out, the truth ending, the answer is no. I won't be paying for it anyway. If it's free, I don't mind downloading it, but it had better be good, because I really, there's nothing worse than having another kind of rushed, tacked on ending on top of the one we've already got. So if I'm that curious, I might just watch it on the tube. So yeah, I'm going to try and save myself from talking too much about this, and I'm going to leave this open to you and start a discussion with everybody and anyone who sees this video. I want to know what you thought about it as well. I know everyone has a lot to say about this, so please just leave us just paragraphs of comments below, because I really want to read them. I want to see if other people felt the same way as me, or perhaps you don't at all and thought it was absolutely fine. But if you do, give your reasons. I'd love to hear reasons for why you like or dislike something. Yes, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And again, I'm sorry it wasn't a double whammy today. I suck, I know, but I just had too much to talk about today. You would have been bombarded with about an hour's worth of just rambling. So yes, as it is, I'm trying to trim the fat out of this one. Shut up now, Megan. Gah! Right, I will see you all next Thursday in my next video, which will be the review. So yes, bye. I look like I'm in a totally 80s jumper right now. All I need is a shell suit and a brick mobile phone. Yeah, baby. Sucks. Just was faced with this boy that, you know, she should have saved in the beginning, but is kind of like... This is going to be really hard to explain, because even I don't really get... Well, I get it, but it just seemed a bit stupid, so...
It's 21 hours.
Thank you, Stephen. I forgot what I was going to say. I was hoping it would come... Don't worry, I'm not like going to cry or anything. I was just trying to think about what I was doing. See? I'm a shell of a person. I found myself thinking about the Mass Effect 3 game, like, after I'd played it, not so much... It wasn't like I went, oh, I've got to play it all over again, or, oh, I want to talk about how great it was. Hence the reason why I'm doing this video, I guess, first, as opposed to the review itself. I felt like something wasn't right. It felt wrong. I felt out of balance or something. My zen was screwed up.